El Tante Oso, that bear you all know, out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation. What? You heard me. Aww, let's go. How many of you can do it right along with me? You've heard it so many times. I've had Mama Bear sometimes mouth it right off camera, right in front of me. Woo! Often imitated, never duplicated. Rombo. That bull with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. What? Woo! The Raider Bear! Ah! Raiders! It don't wash off. Sup? You know, we got to talk about this Raiders. We got a little bit here, a little bit there. And if you guys have questions, we'll work on that too. But we got some stuff to discuss. It's fairly interesting, I think. Kind of bummerish, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. Alexa, hush. Alexa, play music by Bob McCartney.
Shuffling song by Bob McCartney on Amazon Music.
Is anyone else listening to Paul McCartney suddenly? I'm going to be the first YouTuber ever who pranks people's Lexas into playing bad music. Alexa, stop. Oh, God, that's terrible. What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all, as usual. There for Bear Finish! Raider Bear Live. First comment, woo, MVP tonight goes to John LeJoy. Checking in immediately from YouTube. I don't know if that's fair, because I don't think you can do that from Facebook. I think you can't comment until I actually go live. Whereas from YouTube, you can comment before I go live, because he was on there before I even got started. So you're cheating, John. So the YouTuber won tonight. Second place, my silver medal, Vincenzo Rubalcaba. Vinny, sup, man? Welcome to the show. Hey, that's a name near and dear to my heart. My nephew's named Vincent, so, you know. And we call him Vincenzo. Woo! Third place, my bronze medal. Now, this person who needs no introduction and is completely familiar with all of my medals, I need yet remind you, when you wear my bronze out on the beach, be careful. It draws a lot of attention. So if you're not single, don't rock that. You know what I'm saying? Mount Rushmore in the house. David Pelkaliven! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear, Mount Rushmore, DPC, David Pelkaliven. He was winning golds, okay? Vincent Rubalcaba and John LeJoy, when you two were wearing diapers. All right, it wasn't that long ago, but it was a while ago. There was a lot of golds. He won a lot. John LeJoy even got a bear in there. Bear! Travis McNeil, what's up? Welcome to the show. Karina Trujillo, always there for a Raider Bear. Hi, Steeler Val, my favorite Steeler fan by far. I don't have any others, but you're the only one. But you're my favorite. Let's see. It would be Tommy, but he's an Eagles fan. So, you know, I know you'd understand. That's your beautiful baby. Stephen Bobo, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show, though. Cullen Ballbridge, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Raphael247, what's up? Welcome to the show. Everyone, please consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page on Facebook. It's just $5 a month. You can cancel at any time, but you won't want to, because we're out here changing the world, Mama Bear and I. one baby, one individual, one desperate individual, homeless, etc., at a time. And on YouTube, if you would like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so when I'm on, you know about it. I'd appreciate it because I'm trying to build this YouTube presence. And I'm not like these other guys. I'll just tell you straight out, looking right in the camera. I'm just trying to build this YouTube presence. I'm not trying to be the beast or anything like that. I just heard about that guy, man. That's crazy. Has like some 100 million viewers or something like that on YouTube. That's incredible. I guess I should stop calling it Facebook initially, but as I say YouTube, on that YouTube. So Cullen Baldridge, nubbin ain't lubbin. I know, right? Cape Canaveral, Florida, Space Force. What's up, Denton Rhodes? Jim Vanderlyn, how you doing, man? Jim Mood, what's up? Jim, I'm on cloud 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm way, way up there right now. James Walker, hey, brother, what's up? Welcome to the show. James, I want you to write in the comments what you thought of my chain. I want you to write in the comments what Princetta thought of my chain. I want you to write to them what you think about R8RBEAR Family's medallion. And by the way, I want you to say it because I'm sold out. And so I'm going to get more. We're going to get more made. And there's a lot of people asking me about it. We're going to get more, but I want you to hear from people who already have them. So he'll let you know what's up. Troy Gill, what's up? Welcome to the show. Joe McMillan, how you doing, Joe? Good seeing you today on my supporters only show. My Alexa's playing Paul McCartney. Oh, that's awesome. I got Travis McNeil too. Oh, hey, brother. No predictions this year so soon. I think we are all off a few games last year around this time. Jim, honestly, that's a funny way of putting it. But yeah, I had us going away. I mean, I really thought we had a shot at a ring. I thought that Josh McDaniels was going to hit the ground with his butt hot and his feet moving and just really, excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Excuse me, and really make a run through the playoffs at a minimum. When we added Devontae Adams, I thought about, even though our defense was still, I'll put it nicely, porous, I thought that if we got leads that we've seen traditionally in the past, run and gun teams, run and gun offensive teams, like the Buffalo Bills of old that went to 4 Super Bowls, they pretty much did that. Even though they did have a decent defense, they did it by outscoring you and then forcing the other team's offense to become predictable, i.e., they'd have to stop running the ball. And then now your defense could go against a predictable passing almost on every down offense. And anytime you've taken half of another team's offense out of their playbook, they're in trouble. You know what I mean? And that's in effect what the Buffalo Bills did. They basically said, buckle up your seatbelts. And if you can't keep up with how we score, you're in trouble. And that is what happened. They just basically scored so many points so fast that by halftime it was 28-16, 28-14. And you're sitting there going, holy moly. I mean, if we don't throw some numbers up here and put some pressure on their defense, we're dust. And not a lot of people could figure out Buffalo's magic because they went to 4 straight Super Bowls, which has never been duplicated, and it never will be. Chuck Loy, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Carrie Correa, how you doing, man? Let's see. B. Al, what's up? Woody Brown, welcome, brother. Welcome to the show. Bill Cox, how you doing, man? I see you there. Matt Marinovich, what's up, Matt? Welcome to the show. Bear, I have the Warriors, but I don't see them taking 2 from the Lakers. Bill Cox, honestly, it isn't taking 2. What you have to think of it is as taking 1, because all we ever needed was to get 1 in LA. We tried once, we failed. We tried twice, we failed again, got much closer. First one was a blowout. Second one, we were within 3. Now I think we can get him. I think we're going to win this next game for sure. I think we're going to get a game on Sunday. It's going to be a game 7. Now, unlike a lot of arrogant Warrior fans and Laker fans, I will say this about the Warriors-Lakers series. I don't think it's a guaranteed win for the Warriors if it goes 7. I'm not one of those type of fans. Now, do I think that we're going to make this comeback? I do believe we're going to do it because I think we've played bad basketball and we're still where we are. We've played bad basketball for the most part, and the Lakers haven't been able to put us away. And we have to remember, although the Lakers have played better, they look better and so on, they're the 13th seed. They played extra basketball. They don't get 2 days off now between games. They only get one, and they're just exhausted. And I would argue with you if their team was rested and if Anthony Davis were in shape, which he never is, so that's not a very good if to make. But were he in shape, this would be a different series. I'm not saying we'd walk right over him. I'm saying it would be a lot harder to beat the Lakers, but they're not fit. LeBron's old. I poke bears, and until he puts 40 on the Raider Bear, I don't respect him. Some of you know that comment. A lot of you are laughing. Some of you are not. Okay, so interesting situation with the Raiders and the potential cut candidates going into this season. Now, we all know, obviously, that Josh Jacobs has been getting jerked around a lot. And I really think that the only reason why they franchise tagged him was less about being able to keep him a Raider and more about having control of his contract and being able to use him as a trade asset. That's it. I see a team that needs a running back badly, like say, and I'll give you the best example, the Buffalo Bills or the Green Bay Packers or the New York Jets. Those three teams need running game desperately. And if the Raiders put Josh Jacobs out there legitimately and say, give us 2 2s or a 1 and a 5, something crazy like that, someone's going to jump because Josh Jacobs' resume is legit. No matter how you look at it, the injuries are minor. He missed games, but not a lot. You know what I mean? He's clearly tough. He clearly gets yards. He clearly finishes yards or finishes plays. You know, finishing meaning he always falls forward. He almost never goes backward. So the guy's going to warrant a pretty good deal for us. Now, obviously, are deals better than proven players? No. So I'm not thrilled about it because you're letting go of a guy that we cultivated, we developed. He's a star, and now you want to let him go? You know what I mean? I mean, you probably would get another good 3 or 4 years out of him. You know what I mean? You probably get at least another 3 or 4 years out of him, easy. Especially with the offensive line improving with the idea of protecting Jimmy Garoppolo more. But it's still a byproduct of that. You're going to get better protection for your running back as well. And he's already doing well with an average to bad line. You know what I mean? What's he going to do with a better line designed to protect better? He's going to play better, probably get hurt less, and so on. So I think it's crazy. Yeah, Vincent Rubalcaba, there's some guy, his name's Ronbo, and he completely ripped off my style of doing a show. And there are very few things in the world that piss me off, but I won't lie, that pissed me off because it's just so cowardly. You know what I mean? To look at what someone else is doing and say, hey, I'm going to do that exact same thing and act like it's mine. I can't get with that. You know what I mean? You got these Denver Bronco fans and Buffalo Bill fans doing Raider super fan ideas and then just changing the colors. You know what I mean? I don't dig that, man. Just come up with your own stuff. You know what I mean? I don't see anyone, ripping off Spaceman Raider. And I noticed Spaceman Raider, the super fan, right? He didn't take that from someone else. You know what I mean? I see Vampira, right? TNBC crew. What's up? And, she looks dope, cool character. I don't see her taking that from some other franchise's super fan list. She just went out and made her own dope thing. And, I mean, we're bound to see someone rip it off eventually just because it's cool. You know what I mean? But we have all these original things with Raider Nation and everyone else just wanders around just ripping them off. Now, I used to always believe that the things that make you famous are haters. Because the truth is, haters hate you because they hate that you've reached where they want to be. And so I don't care what age you are. And Tommy, I hope you're listening because this is a lesson for you. Even at your age, you can have haters. So if you have some boy at school that just doesn't like you and he won't explain why, that's why. He doesn't like that girls think you're cute. He doesn't like that you're smarter than he is. He doesn't like that you have better shoes or you have a better bicycle or your mom's prettier than his mom or whatever the case may be. That's what he's bitter about. So don't ever worry, Tommy, about what's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a sweet little, cute little dude. And when you meet other people in the future, if they disrespect you and treat you badly when you've done nothing wrong from them, go home and smile, because something about them is mad because they're jealous of how great you are. That's what it is. Trust me, I've lived 3 times as long as you have, and I've learned this lesson. Okay, now moving forward. Back to football. So I think Josh Jacobs is about to get screwed. I really do. I thought we were going to be shocked last year, but I think it's going to be this year. And they may hold on to him one more year, but it won't be because they're not trying to get rid of him. It'll be because they don't get a good enough offer. And with as good a player he is, you're getting a star player for another season. You can still mix and match other running backs that you had in the past, like he does with Brandon Bolden, and try to keep them happy and keep them around. You can still run Zamir White out there from time to time, see if he's the real deal. But in the meantime, you give Josh Jacobs the bell cow, the number one guy, majority of snaps, so to speak. And if you do get a good offer for him, they're going to make a move. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I'm a Raider fan too, Mr. Raider Bear. I have an NFC and an AFC team. Oh, yeah. No, that is okay, Tommy. That's absolutely okay. Vicky Ginn, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Bear! I'll do it for Vicky. Travis McNeil, how you doing, man? Go Raiders. Johnny Page, what's up? Welcome to the show. What do you think of our schedule that's just came out? Matt Marinovich, I never really focus too much on the schedule. The only thing I look at is simple things like, are we playing Thursday night games? Are we playing more than other teams? Do they make us play a Thursday night game against a division rival on the road? So that's 3 factors of difficulty. It's not bad enough that it's on the road. It then has to be against a division rival and on a Thursday on short rest. Remember, they pulled that with us last year with the Chiefs. So, yeah. So I don't like seeing that. I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked in depthly at the schedule yet. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't have it in front of me. But what I do know is that the overseas games, finally, we're seeing some respect for the Raiders, and we're not being forced to go to Germany or London or Taiwan or wherever the hell else they're having these games this year. The way they treated the Jaguars, I happen to know, and that, I mean, for them to have to go to London twice, I mean, it's bad enough you got to go once. The NFL is basically saying, we don't care about your season. I mean, it's true. I mean, the schedule makers, they can't say it's because of strength of schedule or wins and losses. It has nothing to do with that. If your team stunk last year, then they don't mind putting you out there in London because they know you're not going to win a Super Bowl. It's not really jeopardizing your opportunity to make a run at a ring. If you suck, you're obviously not going to win. So, hey, you Lions. Hey, Washington. Enjoy London, mate. Let's see. The Celtics are still in it, Bear, and now I get to enjoy your show. Perfect night. Marcus Atchison, I appreciate the love, brother, but I got to tell you, when they got rid of Ime Udoka, it was the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? You can't lose pieces like that and then act like it's nothing. You know what I mean? When we lost John Gruden, that meant we weren't probably going to be good for at least 3 years after he's gone. Because it's not every day that a coach comes right in and flips your program into a winner. Okay, it happens, but obviously that's the exception. That's not the rule. The rule is that it usually takes a season or 2 for whoever you hired to come in and starts to integrate free agents, draft picks, and the existing players into a cohesive winning unit that knows what you want to coach and then can go out there and execute it. Now, with that being said, we're behind the 8 ball right now as far as the Boston Celtics, because the Boston Celtics lost their identity. That coach made them who they were. They already had most of this roster. When Ime Udoka got the job, he immediately imprinted his personality on the players, and they ate it up. Because every once in a while, a coach does do that. I've had like 5 or 6 different coaches in different sports, and I can tell you only one really got in here with me to the point where I don't went down an alley with that guy. I mean, I would if I saw him go down an alley and I knew he was in trouble, I'd go down that alley and I would fight with that man. You know what I mean? I can't say that about other coaches I've had, but there's one in particular. I'm there. And he was that guy for the Celtics. He was their boss hog. He was the guy that gave them that toughness and identity of defense. And the moment you lost him, it was just there was just a ticking clock, like sands through the hourglass. You know how it slowly ticks away, but it ticks away slowly. That's what's happening to Boston. They're just slowly degrading. You know what I mean? And they may win tonight. They may survive, but they're not going to. Their window of opportunity was against us, and we got them. And I'm not bragging. That's, it was close. It was tight. It was a hard fought championship, and we just got you guys. But truth be told, you're seeing too much degradation now. My friend James Walker says it's a beautiful chain, and Princetta and I love it. Good quality. That's what I'm talking about. I got to put him in a commercial. Anna Diaz Rincon, always there for a Raider Bear. I love my first supporter, Eva. Mark Vargas Bear. Marlo said, where's his wife at? Oh, all right, Vicky. She's in the other room cooking him dinner. Carr just couldn't mesh with McDaniel's system, and our defense was just a work in progress. Matt Marinovich, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't think that Carr could have meshed with Josh McDaniel's system. I just don't think it was going to happen. The writing was on the wall. Now, the reason I say that is because we know now for a fact, there's no more debate about this. Reporters have confirmed it for a month or more, that the contract loophole in Derek Carr's contract that allowed for him to be released the first year of that contract after the first year is completed was Mark Davis. He put that clause in there. He felt like, I've seen enough of this kid. I gave him to Gruden. I saw him before Gruden. I saw him with and after Gruden. I've seen enough. Either Derek Carr's the guy or he isn't for you, Josh. But if he's not, we're going to know right away. And then we're going to make moves. And that's what they did, So Carr was given way more leeway and respect than almost any quarterback you'll ever see. I thought his behavior at the end was outlandish. I thought he acted like a child. I thought the fact that he was benched for the last 2 games was a professional decision by the Raiders. That was excellent. We didn't want to fall into a situation where we might have to guarantee him $40+ million if he got injured, a clause that was still in his contract. And more importantly, we wanted to use the last 2 games to see what our backup quarterback had to give him personally a genuine opportunity, Jared Stidham, to try to show that he could move our offense. He won 1 game and looked, kind of average in the next. And then our season was over, and Derek Carr's brother loses his mind. He looked like a damn fool. David Carr looked even worse, putting foots in him. Wait, what? Putting foots in him, because David Carr looked ridiculous, way over the top, talking about podcasts and how he's going to release the truth, like he was releasing the Kraken. And just like the chick who was releasing the Kraken in politics, there wasn't no Kraken. And when he released the door, nothing came out but a lot of hot air and bluster, because Mark Davis didn't do anything wrong to Derek. He's just another guy with a contract. He was given 9 years to be the man. 9. Listen to that, people. Most quarterbacks are given 2 to 3 years in this era. The previous era, they were given 4. That's when it was long. You were given a 4-year window to be the starter. Okay. Sometimes you paid their 5th-year extension, and they were given a 5th year and then, either released or given a new deal. This clown was with us for 9 years. And what did he win? And for those people who love Derek Carr, and I just called him a clown, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to spite people who love Derek Carr. Continue to love him. But the problem is, the truth is the truth. He overreacted at the end. He acted like a child. He acted like a spoiled, arrogant, rich brat who thought he owned the place. I'm Mr. Raider, the one that doesn't win enough football games and has had 9 years to be the proof and to show that he's the truth. And what did he do? Stand out there going like this with players for 8, 9 years going, you should have went in instead of this. And you know what I mean? Come on, man. And all he had was excuses at the end. Jerry Molina, what's up? Welcome to the show. Jim Vanderlyn, you said you thought McDumdum would hit the ground running, and I wish he would run away. Well, but was I wrong? I mean, let's be honest. He hit the ground running. We can't count his first year. We just can't. Most of us would account for the first season as tanking or tanking for the draft or tanking to get rid of Derek Carr. Can you blame us? I mean, we just gave him the extension. We knew it had the 1 year out. And Josh tried it with the guy and it wasn't working, and that's it. You know what I mean? I mean, you know how many times we've seen players who were with a franchise and they weren't very good and they lose for 4, 5, 6 years and then they go somewhere else and they continue to lose only because they're used to losing. They're used to being a professional that plays, that shows up, that, works out, does everything he's supposed to do. But once the team is losing, there's a part of his brain that kind of goes, I accept that. They're better than we are. It's just part of the job. And they won't say that out loud, but that's what they think. Because you see, to you and I and everyone else, we think of football and we think of the heroes and the heroism and, the hitting and the strength and the speed, and the players are clocking the time clock. You know what I mean? Putting on their hard hat and going to work. You know what I mean? And we still buy into the sweat and the muscles and the tattoos and the toughness and their cool names and all that stuff. But in reality, to these guys, once they reach that level, it's exciting and it's cool to them, just like their fans, just like we are. But once they've had that contract for a year and they've been there and they've been through it, it's a job. It's a job now. You know what I mean? So he's hitting the ground running, though, in my opinion, because now here we are, year 2. He's made significant moves. He's improved the defense. A lot of people feel like the defense hasn't improved enough. I would disagree with that. I love the kid. I can't say his name, but the other corner we brought in, Jalakorian or something like that. I love that kid. I'll say his name right in a minute, I'm sure. But you get what I'm saying. He just has a hard name to say, okay? But that guy's, I mean, there a lot of people are excited he's going to win the starting job opposite Christopher Smith. We could have a whole overload in our secondary with Marcus Epps, this kid Jakorian, Christopher Smith, and we could see a revival of this defense with now the pressure that's up front. It's going to make that secondary, even if it is a 4 or a 5 or a 6 initially, it's going to be a 6, 7, or an 8 as the season wears on, because we're going to get pressure on the quarterback. For all my reservations about Tyree Wilson, I think he'll get to the quarterback. For all of Raider Nation's reservations with Chandler Jones, he's going to get to the quarterback. It's going to happen. Let me see. I'm kind of worried about the Josh Jacobs situation. What do you think, Bear? Travis McNeil, I'm worried because Josh McDaniels is in charge of it, but that's the only reason I'm worried. If it was just, hey, Josh Jacobs is going to play this season, I wouldn't have anything to be worried about. If they gave him a new contract, it was a 3-year deal, and they said he's going to be here and that's it, nothing to worry about. But because his future with us is in question, and the idea that they gave him his franchise tag just to control his future so that they could trade him and gain something for him makes me nervous, because I'm not sure about Zamir White yet. I'm pretty sure the rest of Raider Nation is not sure about Zamir White yet. I like Brandon Bolden, but I don't love him. I think he's just another guy, you know what I mean, who's going to give you 3, 4, 5 yards here and there every once in a while, because our offensive line can hit it on their blocks. He'll get a 15-yard carry or something like that. But he's not Josh Jacobs. He can't carry us. He can't carry those incidental downs where he gets hit and then is able to spin off the guy, stiff arm another one, and gain 7 yards on a play he should have gained 2. Brandon Bolden can't do that. And we can't forget that. That is something Josh Jacobs brings to the table. There are times when the blocking's bad. He gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and then squirts forward like a wet bar of soap for 4 more yards. You know what I mean? That is an incredibly unique skill that you just don't see all over the NFL, because it's an incredibly unique skill. Rick Samarano. What's up, Rick? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. Hey, and I know you already saw it already, but your stuff's on the way, brother. Kenneth Parsons. Raider Rick Flair Bear. Did you see our schedule? F. Goodell. Raider Bear, NFL, R8RBEAR Bear, nuts. I hate this schedule. Yeah, it's hard. But at the same time, I don't mind tough schedules, guys. We do this every year with the schedule. And every year I say the same thing to you. Be honest. People who watch my show, If you get a tough schedule, you develop a tough team. I don't want a team that gets a soft schedule, i.e., the Niners. Remember the year the Niners had one of the softest schedules? It was like the fourth softest schedule in all of football. And they went to the Super Bowl. And what happened? They lost because they weren't hard. They weren't ready. Sure, they had a hard defense. Sure, they had a tough defense, but it wasn't ready for a team like the Chiefs that could explode and attack in multiple ways because they hadn't really faced that because it wasn't on their schedule. And then they got whooped by a team that didn't even play well. Patrick Mahomes, I will continue to say this because I want it burned into everyone's brain. The very first Super Bowl Patrick Mahomes won was against Jimmy Gastinko Garoppolo in the Super Bowl when he threw an interception. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception late in the third quarter and then again early in the fourth on back-to-back possessions in the most crucial part of a football game, the end of the third where it can be a tide turner, and then in the beginning of the fourth where it's really an emotional swayer. And now the person with the momentum going into the fourth usually wins the game because you're putting the other team back on their heels. And that's exactly what happened. And for those of you who didn't watch that Super Bowl, including me, yeah, that's right. Put butts in you, Santa Clara. Figure out where the hell you are demographically. You're not the San Francisco 49ers anymore. You're Santa Clara. So stop it with the SF and put a SC on the side of your helmet. And then right on your jersey, put a little pocket protector for all those friggin' nerds that get season tickets to your games and then don't go to them. I love killing Niner friggin' faithful, allegedly. Oh, I've got the proof, okay? I have it on video. They came back from that Super Bowl, and all of the Niner faithful welcomed back the Niners off the plane. And as the plane landed, and all the Niner players came off the plane out of their seats, and they were excited to see their fans wishing them well and clapping for them, telling them how proud they were. And there was 5 people in there, and of the 5, one of them was a baby in a stroller. Look it up; it's facts. Without question, the worst fan base in all the NFL. That's right, faithful. You don't even know where you're located. Or at least your team doesn't. And then when they lose in the Super Bowl, are you there for them? Do you have their back? Ah! 4 people, one of them pushing a stroller. You should be ashamed of yourself. And they refer to themselves as the faithful. Stop it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get off subject every once in a while when I get to talk about those dirty Niners. Rick Samorano, yeah, the home openers on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, Rick Samorano, I don't think the Steelers are what they used to be. They're just not. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's not a news flash. I mean, I know most people have seen their wins, losses, their defensive record, and things like that about them have changed. Obviously, I spilled a little bit of coffee when I came in the room. There was nothing, and there was nothing in the room, and it jumped out at me out of nowhere. I literally just walked in the room with a cup of coffee and like stumbled. Hello. That looks weird though with your hair you're doing. You know what I mean? It's just no. No, it's not doing it for me right now. You got to go rinse all that out. That's fucked up. Yeah, it is. Oh. Hey, it's been 20 years, woman. You get this kind of humor after 20 years. Rick Samorano said, Island Jen and myself will be there. Nice. Kerry Correa, letting Jacobs go would be disastrous. Garoppolo needs a good running game to be effective. Well, Kerry, that's the problem is that Josh McDaniels, great question, great comment, by the way. That's the problem is that Josh McDaniels thinks that he can do it with any running back. He is not of the belief that running backs that warrant big contracts are necessary to win football games. Now, I would argue there is some facts behind that, but what you have to do is do what the Raiders did initially with Josh Jacobs. You have to find him as a young guy that no one sees coming, You get lucky because you developed talent and you saw that he could flourish, and he did. And now we've had 4 years of Josh Jacobs on the cheap at Pro Bowl level running back play. That's what he wants. Because, see, if you do it that way, then when he warrants his new contract and everything, you just let him go to another team, let them pay him. He's already given you all the things you would have hoped we would have won. If Josh McDaniels had gotten Josh Jacobs in his rookie year, maybe we do win the Super Bowl within 4 years. You see what I'm saying? He would have been there for Josh McDaniels. He would have had his back with this offense. He would have given him all those running yards and protected Garoppolo, given Garoppolo and the offensive line opportunities to really strike at the defense because they're worried so much about the ground game, et cetera, et cetera. But see what Josh McDaniels' challenge in front of him, and we as Raider Nation fans will have to watch, to see if he can do this, but he has to find his own Josh Jacobs. He has to find a Josh Jacobs hold on one second. What's going on over here?
I'm cleaning up your mess.
Yeah, I know, but you're doing it in a bathing suit. I'm trying to do a show over here, woman. You're over there jiggling with it. I felt like playing some Little John and tell you to drop it to the flow. If we lose Jacobs, and I think we will, how do you think our running game will be? Doc Raider, it'll be bad. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you. I don't do that with Raider Nation. And a lot of other shows, they say, oh yeah, well, what we'll do is blah, blah. No, we'll be all right. You know what I mean? Because our offensive line, I think, is actually going to be a little better. Now, for those people who kind of hate on Joel Elemenor, I would recommend to you to go back and look at his stats. Don't go on your mind and what you remember about his play. Because, of course, if he gave up a sack and you remember that, you think, oh, he sucks. But what you have to understand is he really only gave up like 3 sacks on the year. I'm going off memory. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was 3. And then if you look at his quarterback pressures and things like that, and his play, against the run, as far as his ability to block, on run plays, he's good. You know what I mean? He's good. Now, when I say that, I mean that to say he's good, and we just got a year from him. So now he's only going to be better. You would have to figure the following year, he's going to be more confident. He knows this team. He knows this offense. He knows the coaching. He's going to go out there, with a new contract and, play his life out for his family and to, keep his job and hopefully keep being a Raider. You know what I mean? So I could see things with Joel Elemenor getting better. I think that O.J. Howard, the huge tight end we're going to have on that side, I think he's going to help a lot. And you could see a good running year out of Brandon Bolden and Zamir White. If they share the carries and don't get hurt, could I see them producing something close to what Josh Jacobs gives us? Yeah. Now I want to be careful because I don't want everyone telling me I'm crazy. When I say close, I mean, if Josh Jacobs was going to finish with 1,600 yards on the season, I think a combination of Zamir White and Brandon Bolden could get you, if he gets 16, Brandon Bolden and Zamir could get you 12. Okay. If Josh Jacobs gets you 12 touchdowns on the year, 16 touchdowns on the year, I would think that Zamir and Brandon would get you 9, to 12 max. But it's still going to be enough to where the Josh Jacobs effect and what he brings won't be missed because we'll still be winning just a different way. Because I think that the attack with Mayer, the tight end we just got, is going to be just delicious. I think the tight end Mayer from Notre Dame, okay, for the Raiders is going to challenge being one of the top 5 tight ends in all of football. Might win Rookie of the Year. I'm calling it right now. Now, sometimes people win awards because they just fall into the perfect situation. And I'd like to think that this is kind of part of that. I don't think that's a shot at our player. I just think it's true. I think that he ended up being drafted by a team that runs a tight end heavy offense. And now you add to that he's one hell of a tight end. If we find this guy and Jimmy Garoppolo finds his rhythm with him, offensive player of the year. Let's see. Tony Dip, what's up? Tony, make it dip. Rude Boy Raider 305 in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I'm not a hater, just a Raider. Tell him, Rick Samarano. Rude Boy Raider, if I'm ever in Miami, and I will be, I'll hit you up. What if Jacobs doesn't sign the franchise agreement? Jim Vanderland, same situation. If he doesn't sign it, he'll be cut or released or traded. You know what I mean? Him not signing the tender means almost nothing. You know, everyone's always, bringing that up to me and they go, oh, well, what if he doesn't sign? There's no real, he doesn't really have any leverage. All that really does is tell the team that he's willing to sit out as opposed to play on a cheap franchise tag and hurt the team by them not having his skills. And they would have to make a deal because you can't have his roster spot sitting there dormant, you know what I mean? Which is what it would be. That's why when people threaten to hold out, it holds weight. It threatens the owner and the coach because that's a roster spot that could be going to someone else who could really play. So get rid of him, move on, get someone else who can play and get it rolling. And I want to make it clear, we can't hold any of this against Josh Jacobs. None of it. None of us should be mad at him. No one should be disappointed in him. No one should be upset that he left, period. This is a business. He's a grown man. He came from extreme poverty. If you guys don't know his backstory, you need to look it up. It's intense. There were nights he was in dirty hotel rooms and nights where he was sleeping in his truck with his dad. That was home. So that guy came from nothing. Nothing. You have nothing, and then you have less than nothing, and then you have like homeless bum. That's where he was at, and came out of that to make it to the NFL and still stay in college. How did his dad pay for his school? How did he get his school? I mean, I wonder if it was a scholarship. That's something I actually never looked into. I'll have to look into that. We should have got a second-round pick for Waller, not a third. Kenneth Parsons, I disagree. You can't get a first rounder, right? Because he's a veteran and he's kind of a used product and he can't warrant a first round pick. You can't give him a second round pick because technically he's a project player, a wide receiver playing tight end, a gadget. So you get a 3 because then a 4 would be too far down. A 4 would be disrespectful. A 3 is just right. You're giving me a 3 for a guy who might be great for you, might pan out, or might not. You see, what we don't understand, Kenneth Parsons, when Raider Nation looks at Darren Waller, we all froth at the mouth. We all get excited. We remember all those highlights, his sexy body and the big muscles, and he's just a badass, okay? A good-looking guy. His wife's hot. I mean, he has it all. But, well, he can't rap. He can't rap at all. So he doesn't have everything. Do not YouTube his music. Don't YouTube his music. I'm warning you. If you want to continue to like him, do not Google his. It's that bad. But you guys, I know some of you are laughing because you heard the music. You remember the one that starts where he's in that building? It looks like a condo and it's all white. And he just keeps saying the N-word over and over and over again. N-word. Huh? N-word. Fool. N-word. You guys. N-word. You know what it's up. N-word. 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 I'm like, why does he keep saying that? God. I mean, it was so bad. I swear. It's not often that I go to listen to a rap track and I'm going there to hear if I think it's good or not. It isn't often that it makes me burst out laughing. It was just so bad. Nigga. N-word. N-word. What? N-word. 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 That's essentially the lyrics. We got 6 primetime games. You know what? Raphael 247, great Batman pick. I honestly, I'm not surprised by that. They know no matter what's going on with the Raiders, we're always the hot commodity. It's just a fact. It's why people hate us so much. I tell people all the time, if you have haters, you're famous. If you don't have haters, you ain't nobody. That's why I get mad sometimes when I lose my haters because my haters start liking me. I'm serious. I've won over 4 or 5, more like 7. But the point is, they start viewing me. They think, oh, okay, this guy's pretty cool. And what they do is they go off of word of mouth from other people who just, oh, R8RBEAR sucks. I hate his show. He's not funny. His show's boring. He's stupid. He didn't know what he's talking about. And then whoever's talking trash about me, the person listening comes, watches my show, prepared to hate me, and then likes me. And then and then inboxes me and go, hey, I'd heard you sucked, but that was pretty good. Ken, what's up? Welcome to the show. I'll see if I got the right show this time. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a pickle. Fool, you got the right show. Tony, make a dip. I don't mind playing the Chiefs on Christmas Day. I don't. I don't like the fact that Raider fans get mad at that. And you know why they really get mad? Because they're immediately in their mind thinking it's a loss. See, I don't do that. I don't do that. Now, is that me because I'm a better Raider fan than anybody else? No. It's just that I know the one rule. Rivalry games decide games. So when you play the Chiefs or the Broncos or the Chargers play us, you play harder. It's just a fact. It doesn't matter if they have a better record than we do. It doesn't matter if they're clearly a better team than we are. We go into those games to try to beat them. The fear of whether they're better than us is lost because it's a rivalry. Because you hate them so much, you don't care if they're better. You want to pop a tire in that race car and slow them down. And even if they do get you, or if you get them and then they go on and win a whole bunch of games, so what? When we played you, we got you. You know how good it feels when we get them in Kansas City, when we travel down to KC and beat them in their house and do a lap around their stadium and piss off Andy Reid so much he actually cuts a video talking about it. I couldn't believe that those Raiders would do something like that to our blessed stadium. I was outraged. It was furious. I'm like, Andy, you do realize we're enjoying every second of this, right? What was he thinking? Have you ever tried to play a prank on someone and wished you could have had a camera in the room for when it happened so you know how it went down? Well, we did. We did. Except Andy set up the camera for us and said, oh, here you go, guys. I'm outraged. Let me show you how much that prank of yours really nailed me. Oh, man. If Steve Kerr can do it, why can't Missoula do it? Well, because Marcus Atchison, it was different. The people that were brought in with the Warriors were all through the draft. They were all little kids. When Missoula got the team, they're all grown men that were already told they're great. We're already, a pick to go to a championship. And then you got Missoula. Whereas when the Niners, listen to me. When the Warriors let go of Mark and brought in Steve Kerr, they were all still pretty young. And Steve Kerr immediately walks into the room with a whole bunch of rings, with winning rings as a player and as a coach. You know what I mean? And, how can you disrespect that? Whereas Missoula doesn't look like he's old enough to drink. He doesn't. Be honest. Missoula looks like he just walked off the bus to go to his prom with his girlfriend. The guy still needs to shave. He has zits. Anthony Acosta said, it's frustrating. 2 minutes after scheduling was released, went on ticket site and prices were ridiculous. That's why Raiders home games are 50-50 now, sometimes with opponents more than 50%. If Raiders ever start to win, then maybe it might be home field advantage. Anthony Costa, no. Mark Davis priced his fans out of his stadium. And I'm not saying he did it on purpose, but that is the evolution of football. Football stadiums from here on out will be built with the attitude of entertaining someone for 3 days. And when I say that, they want it to be like a resort. So in other words, let's say I go to Dallas to go to see a Dallas Cowboys game. They want me to get there Friday and then go to where the complex is because there's so many restaurants and shopping centers and ice cream and just different stuff for me to go spend my money on and then go to the game in Dallas because it's actually in the exact same shopping center, a little mall that surrounds the stadium. And I just saw the Texas Rangers stadium is just like that. If you go to the Texas Rangers stadium, I was just in Texas for the blackout for Raider TNBC crew. And shout out to Oso Raider. And the stadium was surrounded by all this nightlife and things to do and museums and just all this stuff. And that's the future of sports. And so you're pricing some fans just automatically out of it. And now when you do it with a move on top of it, they didn't just bring a new stadium. They brought a new stadium and then brought the team all the way from the Bay Area out to Las Vegas. Now you add to that now plane tickets and BART trains and Ubers and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, you're right. It's 50-50, but I don't know if it's ever going to get better. I don't know if it's ever going to get better. Even if they win, I don't think it's ever going to get better. Bobby Story said, much respect for the solid advice you gave Tommy. There is a shortage of being positive and civil these days. You were spot on, sir. Bobby Story, I really appreciate that, brother. I like to think it's from raising so many children. I have my own 4 kids, and then I have 3 grandbabies, and then one of my grandbabies, my son, Cadion, my grandson, I call him son, my grandson, Cadion, I raised him for about almost 2 years, about a year and a half. I raised him with his mom living in my house. And so we really imprinted on him pretty good. And now he's growing up and he's becoming quite a young man. And so we like to think that that was part of that little 2 years of boot camp training we had with him as a little boy. And again, I appreciate the love on the compliment. Port Adelaide Raider, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. David Sotelo checking in from Bullhead. David Sotelo, I'm going to be your neighbor in a minute. I don't know if you've heard. Vicky again, it was totally you. I'll never believe it was Marlo. You are the influence. You totally push him. Carr doesn't have the football IQ for JMD's. In this Wonderlic test was a 20. Port Adelaide Raider. I don't want to keep bashing Derek Carr. I really don't. But that you really, if you just start to really step back and look closely at some of the things that were happening, it was getting pretty outrageous at the end. Some of the things he was doing and saying, I wasn't very happy. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Scotty Lutz, tomorrow's game between the Lakers and the Warriors are going to be very interesting. Raider Bear, how are you feeling about the game tomorrow? Scotty Lutz, I already feel like it's over. I told you very clearly I thought the Warriors would win in 7. I said that I thought the Warriors would win in 7 before game 1. And the reason I said that was not because I think the Warriors are all better than they are or that the Lakers aren't good enough or anything like that. I just felt like with home court advantage and the fact that the Lakers were older than us and they were going to get 1 day's rest in the second half of that series. In other words, only game 1 did they get a 2-day rest. And look at what AD did. He went crazy and played like he was Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain rolled up in a ball. And then what happened? 1 day off, he got more tired. 1 day off, he got more tired. 1 day off, he got even more tired. And all his numbers have been going down, and now he's getting hurt because he's tired. He's getting lazy. He's standing there, not reacting quite as fast to things and caught a loony elbow, because Looney play like Frankenstein at center. So if you catch loony elbow, that's your fault. That was an actual reenactment. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying it. Port Adelaide's saying it. Rod Stiffington, his mom is the big owner, but the problem is that he has leveraged the team up to its neck with B of A. And right now, B of A and the payments and the way the Raiders are paying them back, everything's on schedule thus far. But by my math, and from when I was originally studying the deal 4 years ago, I was able to tell, and other mathologists, much smarter than me, were able to say beyond a shadow of a doubt that Mark Davis would have to get the stadium to sell out or relatively sell out, pretty close, for almost the next 10 years to really then balance, get into the black and start to make money, even though he's still making payments. Right now, he's in the red and he's behind, and he's already the cheapest, least cash flush guy in the NFL. Of owners, he's the least wealthy. That's the best way I could say it. The least wealthy. But Rod, as far as that's concerned with his mom, I mean, we all know how that is. If you're older and you're helping your parents with their things, and your parents are getting in their 80s and their mid 80s, and they're getting older than that, you're the kid. You take care of everything, And so I'm not saying her name's not still on everything. I know it is, but I would imagine he has some kind of power of attorney. Yeah, Tony, make a dip. It's time to move on from the Derek Carr conversation. Well over time to move on from the Derek Carr conversation. But I would argue with you that the Derek Carr conversation is justifiable to continue when on my show, when some Raider fans bring it up for this reason. because he was with us for twice as long as any quarterback would normally ever be given. I mean, that's just a fact. Normally, if you're given only 4 years, then if they gave you double that, it would be 8. He got more than that. So he basically got double the amount of time to prove he was a good enough starter than almost any franchise would ever give any guy without results. You know what I mean? You see guys like, legends like Joe Montana, Dan Marino, guys like that get second contracts. Kenny Stabler gets second contracts and move on because they proved themselves. They won things. That's usually why you get it. We kept giving it to him on potential. Oh, he could do it. Oh, he could do it if we put the right guys around him. Well, it turned out that was a garage sale. You know what I mean? We thought it looked nice. We thought it looked newish, but it wasn't. We thought it could get the job done, but it didn't because it couldn't. We can say it was about players and he didn't have a defense and all that, but aren't we then just making excuses for the guy? I mean, because I see other teams doing things with bad defenses. I see other teams doing things with subpar offensive lines and things like that. And I just, look, here I am talking about him again. Oh, so Raider, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I don't know if you heard me. I gave you a shout out a minute ago. Does Bear sound like real low key and sentimental tonight? Yeah, I'm pretty chill because I'm just in a great mood. I've been saying he has done since he came back from the injury. Yeah. Inherited, baby. Nice. I agree, Bear. Carr acted childish and selfish at the end. Why I lost a lot of respect for Carr at the end. Troy Gill, appreciate the love. Hey, is there this current show, Mr. P? What's up? This is a current show. Tim Leonard, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hi to your son. I forget his name. I apologize, Tim Leonard. He's a spunky little devil. I love your son. Steeler Val, Raider Bear, you were talking about kids that might hate me. There was a bully trying to pick on me last year, and I was able to stop him because Grampy and Mommy trained me, but I didn't hurt him. That's a great job, Tommy. That's a great job. Remember that there's no reason for you to prove you're tough to anyone, Tommy. Remember that. Because no matter how much pressure people ever put on you, oh, you have to fight or you have to do this, you have to do that. No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't ever let the attitude of other people and what they think of you saying, oh, well, you're a wimp because you didn't do this. Well, all right. You can think that. Go ahead. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter to me. I have a lot of guys that come on my show. They say your show sucks. I don't think that. And I happen to think most of my viewers don't think that. So, by the way, shout out to Mitchell Renz. What's up to Mitchell Renz? Honestly, I'm trying to do a good show. I'm trying to be the man. And I run into Mitchell Renz for the first time. I reach out my hand, I extend my hand, shake hands with him. Real gentleman. Love the guy. Congratulations, Mitch Renz, on your fiance and your pending marriage. Congratulations. She's beautiful. You looked great. Love the pictures. Having said all that, Raider Nation didn't recognize him. They recognized me. I'm just being honest, okay? He was at an event and I was at an event and we were at the same event. And what I noticed was people knew who I was, but didn't know who he was. I'm just saying, I love that guy, but I'm coming for you, Mitch Renz. Love that guy. No, I'm serious. He's a pretty cool guy. At first I didn't like him, and I'll admit that right on this camera. He'll probably see this episode. Okay, someone will tell him. But I didn't like the guy at first. I watched a couple of his shows, and I saw him really like cussing out his viewers and calling them pussy cats, calling them pussies. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, man. You know what I mean? I mean, he was being rough with them, saying they're not as Raider fan as he is, and things like that, And I guess that was just because that happened to be the show I caught. That was the experience I had with him. You know what I mean? And so I realized after watching a few more of his shows and meeting him in person, he's not really like that. So I was glad to find that out. Tony, make a dip. I think Josh McDaniels will prove it this year. I just don't think we will be that much better. I think we're going to be better. I think we're going to win games. I think we may get the wild card. I think we'll get into the playoffs. And then we probably won't win in the first round because I don't believe in his play calling. I don't believe in him as a coach. I think the players and the offense can get us there. But then once we're in the battle, of the playoffs, I won't lie, I'll be concerned. We can reevaluate this when we get closer, and we've all had a chance to see the team and we can talk about it. But until then, if I'm going off of what I know of him now, I would say he gets us to the playoffs with the improvements to the roster. But then once he's there, then it becomes about his ability to call a game, know what plays to call, what's going to beat the defense that's in front of him, sizing all that up in a matter of seconds and getting it out onto the field. I just, jury's still out on that. But step one, nail the draft, show Raider Nation that you and Dave Ziegler can really improve the team. I feel like they did that. I really do. I feel like they did that. I feel like they deserve credit for step one. I don't think we need to necessarily stop calling him McDumdum yet, but we do have to reevaluate that. We do have to look at that again coming up soon, because there is a very good chance that we could win and that he could change our minds about how we feel about him. What's up, Naked Raider? Welcome to the show. The end of the show. Yeah. Alexa, play Hide by NASA.
Here's Hide, Trocula's remix by NASA.
Corinna Trujillo, you enjoy that song in your house. I'm going to become notorious for activating other people's Alexas. R8RBEAR! Woo! That's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. From who? The R8RBEAR! Shameless excuse to show my bicep again. Much love. I will see you again tomorrow at 4, supporters only, and again at 8. Or maybe not at 8. Warriors! You know what's coming, Laker fan, and you're going to get it right in the face from 3. Bet on your boy. Please. Raider Nation, Warrior Nation. Tomorrow night, we merge. Meet you on Sunday, and then kick you in your Laker balls.